Last night, as America really did for a moment seem on the brink of war with Iran, some users on Twitter voiced their displeasure by tweeting the hashtag "I voted for Hillary." It was a nice little rhetorical win until Hillary Clinton herself had to join in. The message, of course, is that President Hillary would not be starting a war with Iran. Was that true? Or would Hillary Clinton be maybe the single most likely person in the history of America to start a war with Iran? Remember, as Secretary of State, she bragged about overthrowing Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. How'd that work? Well, they're now selling slaves in downtown Tripoli. Watch.
That is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
We killed him. Oh, killing people's hilarious, especially when their countries fall apart and slave markets open. Anyway, if anything, Hillary Clinton's intentions toward Iran were even more bloodthirsty. In 2008, which was a long time ago, the first time she was running for president, she warned that Iran had better be ready because she was going to crush them.
If Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them.
Yeah, so just in case you didn't remember that Hillary Clinton was the neocon, because she was and is, there you go. One person who may remember is Congresswoman and Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. She joins us on set tonight. Congresswoman, thanks so much for coming on. So whatever you think of Hillary, and I think she's capable in certain ways. I don't think everything about her is bad. But kind of a full-blown neocon, no? Or am I imagining that?
No. You're not imagining. I think everybody knows and understands that she is a warmonger, and it is her record. That is proof of
no,
that.
You're totally right. I love that phrase.
You showed the clip about Libya.
Yep.
Look to her influence on going to launch a regime change war in Syria, Libya. You look throughout, obviously, her support for the war in Iraq. Throughout her history, her track record is well known. And I think this is why a lot of people back in 2016 in the general election decided that they would vote for Trump because of what he was saying on the campaign trail about ending stupid wars and bringing our troops home. The problem now, though, is, and I'm out on the campaign trail and hearing from a lot of people who had voted for Trump largely because of this issue and their concern about how rather than ending stupid wars and bringing our troops home, what they're seeing is more of our troops being deployed to the Middle East and now our country at war with Iran. So they're coming and saying, hey, Tulsi, we're confident that you as President Commander-in-Chief will actually end these long-standing regime
So what should we, and I think you make a fair point. So what should we do going forward? So we opened the show with a call for complete withdrawal from Iraq. You served there in the U.S. Army.
I'm the only candidate running for president who served in uniform in Iraq and
what do
understand
you think? Should we pull out?
Very clearly the situation there. And yes, for days now I've been calling for our troops from Iraq and Syria to come home. And here's why. When we deploy our troops downrange, when they're in harm's way, there has to be a very clear mission that's achievable, where they know exactly what they're doing there and why, and that mission actually serves our country's national security interests.
Yes.
But that's not what's happening right now. I think in Iraq especially, we see how our troops are there, their mission, they were supposed to be there to prevent a resurgence of ISIS and al-Qaeda. But that's not what's happening now, with the U.S. commander in Iraq announcing a couple of days ago that our U.S. troops will no longer be putting any efforts towards preventing al-Qaeda and ISIS from mounting a resurgence because they will have to dedicate all of their resources and efforts towards mounting a defensive posture against Iranian forces and Iranian-backed Shia militia.
I mean, look, and I'm not endorsing Iran, obviously.
Of course not.
But just in point of fact, because facts do matter, even in 2020, wasn't Iran one of the forces that overcame ISIS? Or am I imagining
working,
this?
yes, and in Iraq there was this kind of long-standing uneasy alliance between U.S. forces,
Yes.
Iraqi government forces, Iranian and Iranian-backed Shia militias, and the Kurds there, all coming together to defeat and prevent a resurgence of ISIS and al-Qaeda. And this is where, unfortunately, President Trump's actions are actually undermining our national security in two important ways. That because our troops are no longer being able to focus on that mission of preventing ISIS from getting a resurgence, it's creating an opening for ISIS and al-Qaeda to reconstitute themselves and to pose a threat to our forces, to our country and the people in the region. And secondly, Iran is now, as they've announced, they're no longer complying with any restrictions that were in the Iran nuclear agreement, speeding quickly towards developing their own nuclear weapons capability, which puts us at greater risk and puts our partners and allies in the world at a greater risk.
Getting out of Iraq would be, I have to say.
And here's why this is so important. Getting our troops out of Iraq and Syria is essential, because the longer that they are there, the more likely it is that they are at risk and that we will end up in this endless tit-for-tat, back and forth quagmire of a war with people wondering, what is it all for?
Exactly.
What are we trying to
Our
accomplish?
troops are hostages, and we owe them more than that, I think.
Absolutely.
Congressman, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.